Okay, so we're playing Marvel. We're 3 on a league right now. This is a deck that I really believe in, that I've been liking a lot. We've done 2 just like league streams with it. It's performed really well both times. A few big notes here. The biggest thing that I really like about this deck is you don't have to play a lot of enablers for Marvel. We're playing 2 Woodweaver's Puzzleknots, which is a number I feel really good about. We have Solar Transformer, which is like just an energy Mind Stone, a card you want to play anyways. Attune with Aether, which is basically just a land. And then that's kind of it. And you get to play so few enablers because you have Stirrings and Rumble to find your other enablers. And you have Kozilek's command and the spawn token from Rumble to make spawns to sacrifice to trigger Marvel. Which is just a really big deal. And I just love that this deck has these really explosive, crazy Marvel starts where you cast an Emrakul really fast. As soon as turn 3, I think is the fastest you can spin a Marvel. I guess it shouldn't be possible turn 2, but yeah, you can go like turn 1 Tune into Solar Transformer into Hub, Aetherworks Marvel. So like you have these really powerful nut draws, and then beyond that, you're still just like a K command into Emrakul the Promised End deck, which is a great way to just beat cards like Pithing Needle, Stony Silence on your Marvel. You don't really care too much about these cards. I also really like that if your Marvel gets countered, you have Mycospawn for Shifting Woodland to copy your Marvel and pop off. And, you know, this was a deck that we were even, like, starting to work on a little bit when Ring was legal, and it did just kind of feel like at the time if you were playing Eldrazi and you wanted to ramp into a 4-mana artifact, it should be the Ring. Ring is banned. Now Marvel potentially reigning supreme. We're 3-0 in a league at the moment. I will say, so we're going to finish this league on stream, see if we can get a trophy. We can get a trophy prediction going now. There just really isn't anything to that card, I think. I think that card just sucks. Unfortunately, it is pretty cool. But this is the only way I've ever heard anyone describe Haragast. Eldrazi spam! No thanks, not for me. Has consigned memory been fixed or still broken? Pretty relevant. Yeah, that is pretty relevant. I don't know. I hope it's been fixed. All right, there's energy 5 and 6. Although it would have been really nice to have this in our opening hand so we could just spin Marvel turn 3. Although maybe this gets countered. Likely up against Breach here. I'm going to want to wait on the Marvel casting it till I can spin because they made like a Haywire Might and Boseiju, I guess. Initial Bird, 55 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Finally seeing some more love for Satoro and Black White Blink. Hope more people are picking up because it's fun. That card is definitely very fun in Blink. Good morning. Do you think Mono Blue or Simic version would be better? Of what? Okay, there's the Haywire Might. What's wrong with Consign? So Consign, I believe, is bugged where the Replicate doesn't happen. Funny enough, the deck we're playing cares less about the Replicate than most Eldrazi builds. In both decks today. Good. Do you think a Mono Blue or Simic version would be better? I don't even know what we're talking about. Okay, so they decide to not activate this Haywire Might. Let me think Tune first here. Gonna grab second Solar Transformer. I think the ramp is better than the stupid Puzzleknot. One, because if they have random main deck Spell Pierce, which isn't unheard of but isn't very common either, we could pay for it. And also we just have this in our hand that we may want to hard cast. We have 3 types in our yard right now: Kindred, Sorcery, Artifact. So a little ways away. Interesting that they chose not to crack the baubles there. Emrakul, come to me! My opponent says, oh lord, haha. I summon you, Emrakul the Promised End. So my opponent will might my Marvel. Say that 5 times fast. 6 energy if we find another Marvel. This did exile, so we can't find Shifting Woodland, unfortunately. Let's start off with a Rumble. If we find Grinding Station, we just win. Interesting. So, I have 4 mana available here. I think I'm probably just going to put nothing into my hand. And then I think I'm just going to go cast Breach. And then I'm going to escape a Mishra's Bauble to exile the Thassa's Oracle, which might just make it where they're unable to combo. I'll also exile the Aether Spellbomb, probably. And then I'll just cast the other Underworld Breach, too. So let's say no to this. Oh. Well, I've just now realized I don't have a second red source. Always making mistakes with Emrakul, I guess. So I should have taken the Scalding Tarn. Should I escape a Rumble? I would have to mill over, like, an Opal. Doesn't seem like there's, like, much that goes, like, really wrong with this. You know what I mean? I could just say no to whatever. Okay, so we'll exile Oracle. We'll exile the Aether Spellbomb. We'll exile the Haywire Might. So we brick here. I guess we'll say, again, no to all of this. This also means they don't get to have the Bauble, which is not nothing. Yeah, so I do think a little bit of a misstep here. Get Might, exile, own Opal. You could have done that, yeah. This is game 1, so it's pretty unlikely that they can combo. But yeah, should have got the other Breach out of their hand. Or use Heads Mage instead of Opal Stomping Ground. Yeah, sorry, I didn't. Yeah, first. Tarn to cast second Breach. I'd already played my Breeding Pool at that point, so I needed to hit Opal. Could have been better. Should be okay. Not 100% sure. If I draw Kozilek's command, that puts 2 more types in the yard. So Emrakul will cost 8, and then I could make 5 spawns. So if I hit a Temple, I'd be 1 short of casting second Emrakul. They find a Grinding Station. There's a main deck Swan Song. Can they not get multiple stations and mill me out? It doesn't seem that way, no, because to mill me out, my opponent would need to escape 15 artifacts, which comes at the cost of like 45 cards in their library. You know, if you could just mill your opponent out with Grinding Station, they wouldn't play Aetherical. In fact, if they start milling me a bunch, that's pretty good for my Emrakul, I guess. I do wonder what their plan is. Oh yeah, we also have 4 Emrakul the Aeons Torn in our deck. Right. So unfortunately for us, that's not a line that they can take. Said, oh my bad, I thought it Aether, yeah. Okay, I escaped it. Okay. So, we are up a game here. I played this matchup yesterday. And it almost felt like I had too many cards to bring in. So I ended up cutting the All Is Dusts. And then I ended up, I think, cutting the Mycospawns, which is kind of a weird thing to do, but they are kind of slow in this matchup. I think we're also going to cut these Puzzleknots. And then I was even thinking about cutting like a land on the draw. It's a little weird. 7. But we just have so many mana sources here that I think it's kind of okay. Like, I'd rather cut a forest than like any of the green cantrips, especially with the Force of Vigors coming in. So I think this is the sideboard plan. It's a little bit weird. Got a lot of very good cards against them. Trinisphere, Relic, Force. And so, like, winning game 1 is a really big deal when you get to bring in all these premiums. Yeah, it's really rare for, like, stations to mill you out. It's just, like, a super obscure thing, I think. Doesn't happen very often. I mean, I don't love having double Emrakul in my opening hand here. But I do like having... Like, this is a great 5. It's great 5. Mediocre 6. Plus this card that could imprint, maybe. I'm going to keep. Opponent's at a mill to 6 on the play here. Hope everybody's having a good start to their weekend. It's Esther's birthday today. We're going for KBBQ and karaoke. Have I seen the Bant ritual decks? Any merit to playing them over black-white taxes? I've seen the Bant builds. I tend to think the green-white build is better than Bant. We played against a weird 4-color variant the other day that I would be lying if I said I exactly understood what the deck was trying to do. Or, I mean, maybe not exactly, but it was the mana was so wild. It was a Shardless Agent Fetid Heath mana base. Can we pick what you sing? Usually I do like a Flight of the Conchords song. Okay, after some deliberation, they cast a Mox Opal. They cast an Amber, 2 cards in their hand. They float for a red. They sack Opal. Wait, are we done? Are their last 2 cards another Mox Opal and an Underworld Breach? That would really stink with this Force of Vigor and no green card. No, they just pass? If Solar Transformer entered untapped, I'd considered casting it here, but... They sacked the Opal and just passed. Are there still deck techs? Deck techs are like kind of quietly allowed in between rounds of challenges, like when there was some downtime we're not playing. But as far as like channel point deck techs, paid deck techs, they're retired at the moment. Garfelf with the 7 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Can you explain what people are happy about playing Black White God and Dark Blast in both the Black White Flicker deck and Psychic Frog decks? Well, Black White God and Frog are good together because like Frog makes it to where the God is online and it can attack pretty quickly, and it also like triggers it to draw a bunch of cards. So like that synergy is good. You should not probably play Dark Blast. Despite it having like so you have a loop, right? You discard Dark Blast, you exile the 3 cards you dredge, you go through your deck, but you lose life every turn. Maybe it's fine, but I at the very least I'm not like really excited about that synergy. Should I just draw a card off the K command? I really want a green card or a land, like so badly here, and I don't want to have to play the Boseiju to find one. I think I'm gonna do this. It's like a little bit of a spew, maybe. Emrakul, huh? Well, it seems pretty prudent for me to keep the Boseiju up here since my opponent has double grinding station. The Relic's not going to do that much. Maybe I should have cycled the Relic into turn instead. What do you think about pairing Ketramos with Rest in Peace and a major part of the Link deck? Yeah, you could. Like this is, I think Relic of Progenitus is something I'm a lot more likely to want to pair with Ketramos than Relic, because you can just tap Relic and draw a card. And like every single turn. So like that is something that I'm kind of excited about. Yeah, being able to pop the Relic after we Boseiju the Breach is going to be pretty good, so they can't Shifting Woodlands it. And it seems like we should be Boseijuing after they sack the Opal. That way there's no Opal. Would you do Free Strider in the Relic build with Ketramos? I mean, possibly. So, like, this is what I'm trying to say to you. This is the conclusion you should be drawing, is there's a lot of ways you can build Ketramos. It's good with green cards like Free Strider. It's good with Relic of Progenitus. It's good with Psychic Frog. There's, like, weird combos with Bag of Holding. It's good with the stuff that's you're already playing a Black-White Blink, like Velia and it's, like Velia and, wait a little bit. It's just this is a good card that's good with a lot of other good cards. So I just encourage y'all to chill a little bit and wait. Yeah, because they don't have the second station, I think it's fine to wait here. But with Rip, you can crack a fetch, draw, kill the creature, draw, trade, and combat, draw a card. With Rip, you can crack a fetch, draw, kill the creature, draw a card, trade, and combat, draw a card. Yeah, okay, maybe Rest in Peace is better then. But yeah, this is we're just gonna have to figure it out in testing. This is what I'm trying to say. It is a good card that's good with a million other good cards. I like when I did my YouTube video. Also, I said it was the first ever broken Orzhov 3 drop, and I forgot about Luris. I don't usually think of that card as an Orzhov card, but this card is kind of broken. It is. It is indestructible. It draws a ton of cards. It can gain a lot of life. The card is really crazy. The card is really, really crazy. It has combos with it. The fact that there's life loss as part of the combo is something, I guess. Kind of an unbelievable card overall. Okay, let's cycle the Relic now. Another one of these. Well, we have hardcast Force of Vigor up, although it cost us 2 energy. Getting closer and closer to a Emrakul. Have I thought about going back to Primal Prayers? Maybe with the new Celestial Gear Hulk that gets both Guiding the Elephant. Well, it's really awkward that the Celestial Gear Hulk doesn't get cast off Primal Prayers, but maybe. I think they were trying to activate Woodland here. What I did with Black White Blink was replaced Overlord and Emperor Bones with the Ketchermos Rip package. Yeah, what's interesting is like Ketchermos is kind of good with both of those cards. Like the fact that Overlord fills up the yard is really good for Ketchermos, and also Emperor Bones is good with Ketchermos. But I think that could be fine too. There's just so much you can do. There's just so much you can do with this card, and it's like there's going to be right answers and wrong answers, and there's going to be things that are good in different metagames. So I'm excited, but you know we got some time. So they rumble over Saga, Opal, Underworld Breach, and Misty Rainforest here. They're not immediately taking the Underworld Breach, which is kind of interesting. Rip wouldn't trigger Ketchermos since it's a replacement effect. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. But yeah, let me know if it doesn't work that way. What are the best cards against Ketchermos? Wait, if you Solitude a Ketchermos, does the controller of Ketchermos get to draw a card? I'm not sure. Counterspell maybe. Use Violet in. Okay, they do choose the Breach. What's the best time to Force of Vigor when they first cast the Breach? Yeah, I think for Force of Vigor, what I'm probably going to plan to do here is cast it in response to them sacking the Mox Opal again. Goose with the 9 months. Thank you, welcome back. If they have another Breach here, they can play around Boseiju by taking something else and loses the Force of Vigor, I see. Okay, well. Three cards in their hand. They do have a Shifting Woodland. But we have another Force of Vigor and two more energy to pay for it. Okay, so if I find an Eldrazi land, can I cast an Emrakul? They would cost 11, and I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Stirring seems to be pretty risky here, but I can find Relic, I can find a green source, I can find a Solar Transformer. It does seem kind of hard to brick here. Okay. Now, do I want to take Forest or do I want to take Trinisphere? I think I just want to take the Forest so I can get closer to casting Promised End. I feel like a little bit safer too because I actually think there's a solid chance my opponent has like a Nature's Claim or something in their hand. All right, this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Emrakul cost 11. So if we draw a land or maybe a Rumble, we can get there. This does give them Delirium here. Or Mycospawn to get Woodland to get me closer to Emrakul. Yeah, that Mycospawn. Well, I guess Mycospawn, I would have to spin to green, and then if I got a Woodland, I could just exile their Woodland. Okay. Yeah. The Rip draws a card when it gets exiles the existing graveyard, but not when a creature dies. Okay, well that seems to be more balanced. Oh yeah, we did board out the Mycospawns. Well, hey, I wasn't thinking about it on my initial Stirrings comment. But then I also didn't correct you. Okay, so land lets me cast an Emrakul. Rumble also can likely let me cast Emrakul. Could be kind of risky on account of the whole not having another green card situation. All right, now there's only 2 types now, but I got a double land, so this costs me 1 mana. I should be able to cast this. Oh, no, they didn't replicate because of the whole bug. Okay. I won't attack or block with this Emmy because of the bug. Oh, although I'm just dead anyways. Well, I do want to see how they sideboarded. Replicate bug? Is that why you didn't replicate? Didn't have double blue? Well, you don't have to spend an extra blue to replicate Consign. You know, a lot of my like good sportsmanship I learned from my friend Zach Elsick from teaming up with him at the old Pro Tour. Oh, also, isn't this the wrong number of cards? Like, if our opponent mills their Oracle here, they have to escape it. Unless, I guess they just have something in their hand at this point. My good friend Zach Elsick taught me a lot about sportsmanship. It was a good role model for me coming up in Magic the Gathering. Oracle in hand? Is this something that we know about? How do we know they have Oracle in their hand? From Rumble or something? I don't see it in the revealed zone. They missed an untapped trigger. Yeah, if they hadn't missed the untapped trigger, they could have sacked the Amber. Although I guess they would kind of need the Amber in play for the untapped stuff. Although like you know, maybe it just is in the hand here, so because they're comboing like this. Oh, I mean, I guess, but like we just could be playing against someone who's making a mistake. Doesn't seem like particularly less likely. I think this is like one of the most common mistakes to make with Breach is to loop exactly with like one too few cards in the yard. I think you mill over the thing. Although yeah, but like it does seem like they know what's up. And even if they didn't, then if this is one of the last cards, they win anyways. Yeah. Okay, game 3. All right, game 3 on the play. We may not be able to finish this league before round 1 starts. We're 3-0 to league right now. The record tracker is always broken when you start a stream midstream. They did miss a trigger on the first Opal Cascara station. They could have an extra card to the bin. Well, the problem is so they missed a trigger, right? They could have sacked the Amber, but then they wouldn't have had enough artifacts to make mana, right? What's the reasoning to run Oracle versus Grapeshot? I'm not really sure that it's better to play Oracle anymore. The decision tree, there used to be like a decision tree that was like, well, Oracle is blue, so your only Mox is Mox Amber, so you need to be able to play Emery for 1 mana, then Mox Amber for double blue, and then red was really tough. And then also the One Ring existing meant that you couldn't combo in a good amount of situations. But now like you have Mox Opal, so the blue mana thing isn't a consideration. The ring is gone, so it's like, you know, Oracle is better if in like long games where sometimes you just can't Grapeshot. Although this happens really rarely because you can just double Grapeshot most of the time. But yeah, a good question. I'm not sure that it's correct to be on Oracle anymore. Yeah, I think we just take the imprintable here. And holding the Stirrings for Force of Vigor seems pretty good at the moment. My plan is going to be to K-Command X equals 2 next turn, and then I can go Marvel, sack 2 spawns, make 2 energy, and then potentially I could draw a Attune with Aether or a Solar Transformer off of the K-Command to spin, but we can also, you know, do something else too. Grapeshot is weaker to Force, which is why the Pierce is in the deck. Yeah. Or Swan Song too. But yeah, like, you know, Grapeshot seems to have like a little bit of extra utility. Kind of minor. Spooky Mangoes with the 49 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Still spooky. Opal couldn't continue to generate mana after that, but the 1 mana would have been enough to cast Emery in the loop with Amber. Ah, I see. The old loop. Okay. Might hardcast Force of Vigor this turn then. Grapeshot also loses to Consign. I mean, only if you can't escape it again, which seems kind of rare. I mean, I would even say that Thassa's Oracle is a little weaker to Consign, because yes, you can like escape Opal, heat your Oracle, and then escape it again, but that is kind of significantly more resources. I think I'm going to rumble over Stirrings here. So we build this Emrakul, which shuffles our yard, which makes a future Promised End worse. But we are set up to be able to go Force of Vigor on the Pithing Needle, untap, play Marvel, sack Spawn, make another energy. We'd also target the Haywire Might. But I think I'm not really in any big rush to do this. Like, I think there's basically like no chance I would do that unless like somehow my opponent tapped out, which seems like kind of impossible unless they're comboing. And if they're comboing, I guess I'm targeting the Needle and the Grinding Station. I got my PT invite because my Grapeshot for 1 killed a Scion that was going to block my Construct. Nice. Challenge starts at 11. Challenge starts in 15 minutes. They have 1 card in their hand here. For those who go to Charlotte, what deck do you plan on playing? I'm not attending Charlotte. I haven't played RCQs in a long time. They're very difficult to fit into my schedule these days. If I would have played Green White Ritual, but like I think the way like Boros evolved to play Wrath the Skies in the sideboard, and as well as Eldrazi to like main deck like so many Kozilek's returns, it doesn't seem like that good of an option. So, I would probably play an Eldrazi variant if I was going to play in a RC, but I'm not sure which Eldrazi variant. So my opponent has 1 card in their hand. Seems good then to Force of Vigor, because if their last card is a counterspell, then that's fine. We'll just make this trade now. We can even pay for Spell Pierce. And if it's Underworld Breach, you know, then there's not much they can do about this. Okay, so they might my Solar Transformer in response. I'm going to float a mana. I guess I would probably rather cast Stirrings for Relic after this. Okay, the last card was a Consign. Emrakul, the Promised End, a little too expensive to cast. We're going to grab... I mean, I could grab it, and I could untap and K-Command, I guess. Seems like I should just grab another K-Command. Okay, if my opponent untaps and if they top deck an Underworld Breach, you know, good beats. Not much we can do about that. They top deck an Emry. Not a card I'm thrilled to see, but okay. So I think we just main phase Scry Draw. Not only do we have a lot of looks at a Marvel, but we also can spin if we find one. And we can even potentially set up the top of our library. Okay, yeah, so here we can cast Emrakul, the Promised End, if we don't find Emrakul, the Aeons Torn underneath. And then I can even like make them exile something they don't want to exile with my Relic, which is kind of funny. Because I can tap it on the turn I'm controlling. Oh, but I did find Emrakul, the Aeons Torn. Does it look like Opal is getting rebanned? I don't think so. I like this Breach deck. I feel like you can play against and be fine. I kind of am enjoying it being a top deck at the moment, if I'm going to be quite honest. I also seem to feel like if I was going to ban anything from the Breach deck, it would probably just be Breach. So there's that to consider as well. But no, I don't really mind this Breach deck very much. I didn't exile one grave card from the yard with Relic. Yeah, I think I won't again anyways. I think I'm just holding up my mana here. If they like needle Boseiju and then cast a Breach, Relic plus K command should be enough graveyard hate to stop them. I think Breach has proven to be a pretty balanced card in the past. Why ban anything? I mean, I don't think you should ban anything right now. I would not use the words probably. Breach has proven to be a pretty balanced card in the past. I don't think that would be a sentence that came out of my mouth ever. Hopefully we can find a double land off the stirrings. I think we have to keep this. The Mr. Spike. Think of his Switch Prime. I thought I was the Mr. Spike. Take a solar transformer too. So transformer, temple, and labyrinth. I'm taking over anything. Would I take transformer over temple though? I guess I should. Yeah. So transform over anything. To be honest, Bowmaster red numbers down. Bob's still awful in the Boros. Yeah, Bob is like the most embarrassing card in the into Boros you could probably imagine. I don't know. But like I think it might be okay to be like, as the Jund gamer, say to yourself, well, I can never beat Boros anyways, and then you might have a moment of self-reflection where you ask yourself, wait, why, if I want to play a Thoughtseize mid-range deck, why am I not playing Mardu? And then you just quickly you just shove that thought deep down, and then you put Tarmogoyf in Dark Confidant in your deck. All right, so this is either creativity or storm. Hoping it's creativity. They put a card on top. How strong do you think the black-white sewers deck is? Tier 1. I would say it's tier 1. Yeah, I think it's kind of risen to tier 1 because it's absolutely popular enough. It's absolutely played enough to, like, this is a deck that you really need to think about when you're building your sideboards and stuff. So certainly tier 1 based on popularity. Also, it happens to be, I think, really good against most of the decks in the field. So I think maybe black-white is a good example of like a deck rising through the tiers, because it's tier 2 because it wasn't that popular, but it happened to be a deck that you would want to play because of its position in the metagame, and then it rose to be an actual tier 1 deck. I think I am scry drawing here, although could be convinced of a different modes there. All right, spin to win. Ha 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 ha. Nice creativity. Literally nobody plays this deck. I don't I don't know. I'm a one of the challenge to Jund, I guess, but I'm a big believer in the Marvel deck. Obviously it's kind of higher variance. But like it just does this, and then it's also like a normal Eldrazi deck too, which is pretty good. Okay, so we're on the draw against creativity. Veils can be not very good on the draw. Might want to play some copies on the play. I don't know if I honestly, like, All Is Dust doesn't seem like completely out of the question. This Yamlet Titan won the challenge yesterday. I did not see that. That's cool, and not that surprising. We're 0-1 in the Chally. We lost against like a tier 1 deck. Canister won it. Cool. Congratulations. This is the Marvel deck. Yeah, what would y'all think about if they somehow included this card in the Marvel set? Spike K command in the Orzhov deck when the new god comes out. Listen, like, I just can't. All day today, Chad is just listing amazing cards with the black-white god, and I go, yes, there are a lot of very good cards. Yes, there are a lot of very good cards that work with this card. We're gonna have to play test them all. It's just we're just gonna have to figure it out. There's just too much for me to say what direction we're gonna go. Do you ever trim on Emrakuls? Yeah, sometimes I cut Aeons Torns. So I got my relic here. pretty rare that I like. Promised is just too castable, I think, to trim instead of the Aeon Storms. I do that a lot when I bring in all his dusts, because then hitting all his dusts is a really good hit. Okay, I guess I take this Eldrazi Temple and let's play Aether Hub, because if they Trastodon, I'd rather them hit that. They do go for Trastodon instead of Archon. We'll see how this works out for them. They target their own land here, so they're just kind of all in. Imagine I just draw Solar Transformer and I spin Aetherworks Marvel next turn. Okay, y'all did not imagine hard enough. Okay. Taking 8 down to 12. Draw basic forest. So next turn, I guess I'm not sure what we're doing next turn. I think I'm taking 8 again. They discard an Archon. So they're getting creativity probably if they're attacking this. I guess they could have Renin 6 instead. Spike, bring back Idyllic Grain, Shelia, Ketchermos could work there, and combos fast enough to beat Eldrazi. Yes, there's a ton of shells to play Ketchermos in. We're going to play a lot of them. I'm really excited. Gotta wait till Tuesday. They play Boseiju, so they can cast creativity on their treasure token. And they hit an Archon. And I think we're dead. Game 3. So on the play, we can play some Veil of Summers. If we want to, I don't know. I mean, the relics stop the persist, but persist is worse on the draw. And we still have the K commands also for the persists. Let's keep this. I think I'm gonna just play Temple. Puts on the mold of 6. Mold of 5. Looking good for our signs of trophying. This is, I know the record tracker is broken because we started this stream mid-league, but we are 4-0 in game 3 here. Veil hitting Archon trigger isn't nothing. It usually isn't that important to hit an Archon trigger. You usually don't get to draw a card unless they persist it, and then there's still an Archon of Cruelty in play. But you're right, it's not nothing. That is true. Good chance I just hardcast the Emrakul. Might kick Mycospawn next turn and the turn after also. Okay, well. Well, they didn't Thoughtseize turn 1. Seems a little late for the old Veil of Summer. Rumble seems good enough to keep. Lucy, come here. Lucy, come here. There's a cat outside. Come here, Lucy. Lucy. She's very torn between me and... She chose the cat. They took the Rumble, which I think is good news for me. Also, they're not like immediately discarding something to persist next turn, so that seems to be good news also. At this point in the looting resolving, I'll be pretty surprised. Okay, they discard Paw Patch Formation and Bloodstained Mire. So we're going to get basic forest, I guess. The rare, I guess not that rare. Yeah, Woodland doesn't enter and tap, so I think we just get this. Stirrings. Can get Solar Transformer or just another Eldrazi Temple. Could get backup. We already have a backup in Emrakul the Promise. Yeah, I guess we just get another Temple. Psychic damage. %, conceding the second Mycospawn. It's pretty funny too when they could have Thoughtseized the second one. They did again, don't discard a big creature. They only have 2 cards in their hand. the follies of Faithless Looting, I guess. We just have the perfect top deck here too. Looking very good for our trophy chances. Our bruised ego after losing to Jund in round 1 of the challenge. Recovering here. Is this my new pet deck? You played a lot the last few days. This is the first time I've played this deck this week, so you're mistaken. You were mistaken. There's just, I mean, listen, Modern Horizons 3 was very focused on Eldrazi, so I'm gonna be playing a lot of Eldrazi variants. The Eldrazi cards are really stupid, and there's a lot of ways you can build them. So we're playing a bunch of Eldrazi variants. All right, we got the trophy. Open an Underworld Breach. Broadside Bombardiers. Thought Seer, Ink Moth. Pretty good. Pretty good. Hopefully the challenge bounces back some, but I'm pretty excited to have trophied. This is a deck that, like, basically every time we